Welcome everyone to today's webinar. Today we have a total of 96 attendees from 51 countries. The webinar will be hosted by our Director of International Sales, Dr. Melissa.
Thank you. Hello, good morning from the UK. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all. Today, the new year, we're going to talk about the next generation people counters and how making it a right fit for the store. Now, what is the global trend now in people counting? It is an underutilized potential. Now, a lot of our client and also some other more innovative retailers, they have already maybe installed 20, 30 years of people counting. So it has been here for, 30 years. But despite of that, people counting data or accounting system, they remain underused. I have gone into a meeting with some retailers that they have said we have installed some devices like 10 years ago, we stopped using it and now revisiting. So that is because the max they can get is a counting number of footfall coming in and doing it as a sales conversion. And a lot of time they're not even accurate. And so that's why they have not been really using the full potential of it. And mainly because the shopper analytics are not fully leveraged. Now we have technological advancement. AI, we heard a lot about it, machine learning, they're all here. They improve the data accuracy, they expand the data dimensions. And this is the most important thing, because data is asset for AI. So you need much bigger data dimensions and with enhanced analytics. So enablement, so it has enabled it. So the benefit, of course, then it become manifolds. The retailers can use the people counting system now to analyze customer behavior, not just how many footfall, but actually the behavior, how they come into the store, so they can optimize staffing, optimize stock level, and enhance the store layout for better sales. All of this is going to increase their sales. They now know how to like pinpoint for specific store, how they can increase the sales for that stores. So therefore, this is by a market research, and is estimated the market growth will be to 2.5 or nearly 2.6 billion in the next 7 years. Now, the 3D Pro 2, we have now upgraded our 3D Pro 2 with NPU. So with better CPU, octa-core now, and we have added NPU. Now, if you don't have NPU, you don't have AI. NPU, the neuro processing unit, and we have 8 TOPS of it, and of course, with a GPU of 25 frames per second. So I'll just quickly show you this video. It's probably better if I show you with that. On there. We can share the link later that you can go and watch because we don't have the audio here over the webinar. So what we have here is 3 things into one, with AI video analytics, AI depth map, and the original 3D Stereo Vision all into one, because each have its pros, like its strength and weakness. AI analytics, we can detect a lot of bags, differentiate groups, demographic and all that, and through AI learning. But it does also have its struggle and its challenges. AI depth map can reconstruct a 3D model even with poor images, and it can handle different patterns, floor and sunlight. 3D Stereo Vision, as you know, of course, and is already very, very accurate, is an industrial standard, and it also gives reliable height information. But the good thing about it, so it has its challenges, but the good thing with it, when it's like a plywood, like a marine plywood, when you put 3 technology together, it complement each other's, and it overcome the challenges of the different technology. So what it does is now, so in here, with the 3 technologies combining together is going to increase the accuracy to almost 100% in all environment. So this is where, and with the edge counting, of course, everything there, we overcome occlusion or even at a very crowded area. Now, so what it can do with this other one, with the video, so it's now AI powered 3D Stereo Vision counter. we have a lot of feature because with the powerful processor, we can do AI analytics. So we can analyze people who are actually literally physically passing outside, the demographic of people coming in, male, female, what age group, the age range, and we can differentiate staff as well. Because there's no point having not being, if you can't differentiate staff, then they're going to skew the in-store analytic data with the staff. So again, with our normal what we already have with the 6 metrics, but now we're going to be able to optimize for the different environment as well, like low ceiling, wide entrance, very wide entrance. We now can use less devices. I'm going to show you how as well. We are also detecting a lot of, we can auto detect a lot of environment, like low brightness if it's detected, store opening, closing, we can detect that, blockage, environment off shift. If they, the display has been changed, we can automatically detect that. So again, still combined with our original aluminum casing with heat dissipation, with splash-proof enclosure and all that's to prevent water damage. Now coming back here, all right, stopping that, sorry. Just need to move to the next one. So, and we have a privacy mask as well. So apart from all those, we now also have a privacy mask. You actually noticed just now the video I showed you is actually masked over, and we mask over this at the chip level. So this is then all GDPR compliant, which is very important, of course, for nowadays. So what is, of course, AI is good, everything is great, but the cost, if it's prohibitive, then there's no point. So what we have done here is because of the advancement in our technology, we can reduce the equipment costs to very significantly. Now, we are already very competitive in our unit price comparing to all these other vendors. We are 15% lower for per unit comparison. We provide the widest coverage, and we'll do the calculation later. And we can replace 3 standard people counters, and that's like Zovis. So we can replace one Pro 2 can replace a coverage of 3 Zovis. Brickstream have a smaller coverage than Zovis, and Iris is even more. Yeah, so that reduces the cost by 60%. And we now have a sister device, Pro 1. Which we have launched. This further combining the Pro 1 with the Pro 2 further reduce the cost. So the total saving can be up to 90%. That is 10 times cheaper than the other vendor. So a scenario like this, when we talk about a mounting height of 3.5 meter, which is pretty standard in the retail store. And if one Pro 2, we can cover a maximum coverage area of 560 square feet. So, and around about our costs, around that cost, so the cost per square feet would be about $1, $1.16. Comparing with a competitor, like they would need 3 units for this coverage. So that's already a cost difference of 77%. Now, with the Pro 1, now Pro 1 is a sister device. When you have one Pro 2, you can then add on sister device for it. So then with that combination, you can cover 1.1 square feet. And with that combination, you can cover 2,000, sorry, not 1.1 square feet, 1,000, and this, you can cover 2.2 thousand square feet. And the cost is 950 for this combination. So comparing with a competitor that would probably need about 12 units to cover that square feet. That's why you will see that in-store analytic, customer behavior analysis is quite too expensive with the other vendors. But with this price, you can see that all retailer will probably go for it. Yeah, so we are 10 times cheaper. And now look at one of the example. So for a small format store like this, you will install one Pro 2. Now we are further away from the entrance, a little bit inside. So then this will give us, because of the wide coverage, we can cover the entrance a little bit on the outside so that we can count passerby as well, and also the in-store. So with one counter, we can do how many people passing outside, like literally seeing it, how many come in, the demographic, how many actually looking at the product over here, product over there, and if they then come in first, do they visit here first and there? So we can do a lot of all this analysis with just the one device. Now for a medium-sized store, this is around about 1,000 square feet. You can use one Pro 2, which is then nearer the entrance, and then assist the Pro 1 in there. So this is then combining that, then you can get the analysis of the full for the whole store on there. So what are the data points? So now you have 10 times cheaper in the device cost. Now the data points, we want to say we have 10 times more data points. So we can track the customer as they enter. So you have the footfall. Again, you have how long they stay in the store, outside traffic, group counting. This we already have with our original device turn-in rate. Now we do age group, gender. Yeah, and we can do staff exclusion, so we know which one is staff for that. And now customer engagement. So did they come in, they look at this corner, look at product A, they look at the product A, they touch product B, they interact with the staff at product C, staff interaction we can do, and of course all these paths, and whether or not they actually go and make a payment. And of course then also unique visitor by the re-ID. We'll talk about a little bit more about what's the AI re-ID, re-identification in another webinar, but because with that we can tell you how many unique visitor. Now, with this, so those you have 10 times the data point. Now, what it can do is enrich your data with more AI-powered insight, because not all footfall are equal. Some are, they are bargain hunter. They come in, they look at the product, they only go and look at where you have offer, and then they make payment. Another one could be a determined shopper. They come here straight in to go and get that product and they pay. But then you also can have other indecisive shopper. They look at two product, ping-ponging around there. So the staff should treat these different footfall differently. For example, for bargain hunter in determined shopper, you just need to make sure you have enough staff at the cashier, at the checkout point, so that you don't have a long queue resulting in an abandoned cart. So you just need to make sure that buying experience is fast and efficient, and they're happy and they go. Now with indecisive shopper, imagine if you can alert your staff and say, all right, this customer have been there for 10 minutes. Can a sales associate go there to serve the customer, to help them make the decision, and hence you convert the sales. So how are you going to tell your staff to treat, to react to the customer differently? Now, with this kind of data point, with the AI powered insight, with the real-time alert, then they can make it more efficient there. So we can optimize store operations and boost sales with agentic AI. So we have different apps. These are some of the examples. Store location app, so they can identify prime location, reduce cost, reduce risk. Sales tracker, so that you can predict what kind of customer. Literally, you can predict and say in the next half an hour, you're going to have 50 people come in. Of these 50 people, 20 of them are going to be engaged. One of them are going to be your big spender. So with that kind of prediction, you can let the staff to find out who is that person and to go and serve the one that are going to make a purchase. So you can guide the staff to boost the sales by 10% or even more. Merchandising app determine what is the optimal product arrangement, because we have retailers saying, where should I place my best-selling product? Should I place it right at the front, or because it's best selling, they're going to come in anyway? Should I place it at the back? So all these are things that with the AI, and also maybe different store has different customer behavior. So that can do that. And of course, the marketing ROI. I won't go through in too much detail. We have the next webinar for that. So in our upcoming workshop, we're going to tell you how AI simulator can maximize the sales. Now, as you can see, retailer have this view only, because this is their POS data. They know when they make sales, which products sell best, but we can give them the whole insight from where their store is being located with population data, the location analysis on there to how many footfall come in, what is the marketing impact on there, whether or not they browse, they engage, what is the customer behavior, and then to the sales conversion. So now a little glimpse like store location analysis with population data and where the store is. Is their store optimized, located with the type of target population they want, with their rental price, and with the street business, how busy is their where the store is. So does that justify their rental? And should they open an hour later so that they can close an hour later to optimize for the street business? And whether or not which store they should open on, is it worth opening on New Year's Day, for example, and which street they don't have to bother opening because no one's going to be out on the street anyway. Potential footfall. So should they want to open the new stores, they have like 3 stores that they can potentially rent. They can then analyze with the population data to find out the potential footfall, the potential sales, things like this, and also the customer flow within their stores, how they are moving from, you know, how they move around there. So what kind of path the customers has taken, which are the top 10 paths, and how they flow, whether or not this shopper is a bargain hunter or a determined shopper or a casual shopper, things like this. And what they can do now is also an AI simulation. If they move this product somewhere else, what is the impact on the customer flow? What is the impact on the product sales for that product? And also, what is the impact on the product sales of another product? So all these are what they can do with that. And again, like customer engagement, like apart from just heat map, they can then see how many people pass by a certain zone, how many people actually engage, how long they engage on there, comparing with, okay, you have a certain product launch for, a certain part of it. How is it impacting, of course, that product, as well as the dynamic of the customer's flow in the whole store. So combining on all this. We will go through this more in detail in the next webinar, which is what we're going to talk about, the AI-powered insight. So what I think we want to wrap up for this webinar is that now, as you probably know about in the recent NRF in January, they're already talking, all retailers are talking AI, how the AI can enable, they optimize the sales, increase their sales, optimize how they run their business. Now, they are talking about it, but a lot of our client is already starting using AI for their stores because now technology has enabled it. The cost has come down 10 times cheaper than our competitor. You have 10 times more data points. And now, because of that, with the AI, you can bring in 10 times more business value. And this is what we're going to talk about in the next webinar. Hope you can join. We're having a series of webinars on every Friday. I hope you can join. If you're going to miss that, and you really want to look at the video, let us know, email us on there. And then the next one, we're going to talk about what is re-identification, how we're going to use it with AI, and how that is GDPR compliant as well. So it's compliant with all Privacy Act in most country, and gender recognition, again, how it works. And also, this is probably one of the many asked questions, because some retailers, they already have an incumbent system, whether it's accurate or not, they have some system. Like for example, one of the example is you have a retail chains, they have 400 stores, they might already install 300 stores with an older device. Now they come into this crossroad and say, all right, what do I do with the other 100 stores, right? I don't necessarily want to have 2 vendor, and I don't, it's like installing the next, I don't want to have a new vendor installing the next 100 stores that haven't got a system. If I have to be forced to then swap up the 300 stores that I already have, because it's very expensive. They've already invested in it. So therefore, we have a legacy care plan. We're going to talk more about that. We can then take their incumbent system with all the data, continue host it for them into our platform, as long as the new device, they buy it from FootfallCam, we can host it for them at a very, very competitive price, probably a few times cheaper than what they're paying their incumbent license fee now. So we'll talk about that more. So this become a very attractive way, and also for the retailer as well, become a realistic plan for them to move forward. Now, and also the fifth one, we could talk about the essential metrics to really actually map out the customer journey, what kind of metrics you need to really utilize the AI. So I'll wrap up now, and then we go to the Q&A session.
Thank you, Dr. Melissa, for this insightful presentation. We have covered some great points today, and I'm sure our audience has a lot of questions. I already see quite some questions from our audience, so we can now move on to the Q&A section.
Sure, thank you. One of the question is asking, how is gender recognition done? And can this be done with the ceiling-mounted 3D Pro 2 device without our face camera? Yes. Now with the ceiling-mounted Pro 2 and the Pro 1, we have the Re-ID technology, re-identification. We'll talk about how it works in the next webinar. But with this Re-ID, we are tracking the appearance, the skeleton of the person, what they're wearing, so the appearance, their gait, their behavior. So, and to recognize it, whether it's what gender they are, kind of like what age group they are as well. And we can also use that. I'm going to answer a question about staff. So we can, because of the Re-ID, like the behavior, how long that person is in the shop, we can use that to also do staff recognition without having a uniform. Because now we have retailer that have staff uniform, but a lot of time, especially fashion retailer, they do not necessarily have staff uniform. Their staff will wear their branded or a certain type of attire, like maybe all black and so forth. So we can still use the Re-ID to do staff exclusion. So now with this, we can be very accurate to track all the different feature points rather than using the face. So we're not using the face recognition anymore. Yeah. Now, I hope I answered that. Another question is the outside counting is not based on Wi-Fi counting as before. So we're going to use a combination. Since we have the Wi-Fi technology and now also the new Bluetooth technology, we're going to use a combination of that. So we use Wi-Fi and 3D counting. So we will cover more of these metrics in the next webinar. Okay. Now, costs, are all of these features coming as default? And are there additional costs for each different function? Now, we tend to usually like to provide this all in because most customers, they are looking for similar things. So what we're trying to do is like with less than $1,000, like the one with the 1 Pro 2 and 3 Pro 1, or 1,000 for 2 stores, we can do a complete coverage for that with the full path analysis and all that. One installation question: how does Pro 2 connect to Pro 1? So we provide a PoE switch, and that comes with this package. When you buy a Pro 2 and Pro 1 sister package, will provide a PoE switch so that the Pro 2 and the Pro 1 is connected to this switch, so that any traffic is within this network between the Pro 2 and Pro 1 network, so that from this network, when we only then do the we only then transfer the calculation. So this is where we're going to handle the video stream within this local, as enclosed, shouldn't say that word, probably just this local network with the PoE switch. Yeah. But going through the store network, it will still, as before, only the counted data. So we're talking about still the few kilobytes per second being uploaded to the store network. Yeah. And a question about do you have any case studies in the jewelry stores? Now, yes, in fact, jewelry stores is among the first one to endorse this type of technology because jewelry stores, especially those high-end jewelry stores, their footfall traffic is low, their conversion rate is low because it's a high ticketing um, product. Yeah. And especially for them, not all footfall are equal because they might come in multiple times and they are at different stages of buying. So it's very important that they can segmentize the shoppers so that they can strategize their sales approach. And it has proven to increase their sales. Yeah. Um, and there's one question, can I install it myself? Of course, then any IT professional will be able to do it, PoE enabled, so Cat5 cable. And can I install a 3D? So you have, this is a question, you have already installed the 3D counter from another vendor. What should I do? As I mentioned before, the legacy care plan. So we can talk about this and we support third-party sensor integration without additional costs. So we can explore this in the next webinar. And when can I buy Pro One? Is it available? Yes, it will be available now for purchase. Yeah. What is Re-ID? We will talk about that in upcoming webinar. And what is the monthly fee? So it does come with a monthly fee because because from experience, if the monthly fee is for the support and the cloud hosting. So if it's not properly supported, then it just means the system will dwindle down and it end up the reason why the reseller doesn't want to support is because probably they're not using it. Yeah. So now we are wanting to make them because with all this added business value, they're going to use it a lot more. So, and when they're using it, they better to be properly supported and on there. But our monthly fee is, we know the market 70% lower than the market rate. So it's very high performance to value. Or to cost on there. But for independent software vendor, if you have your own platform and you're just wanting the data from us, like the raw data from us to your own platform, you want to install it on your server, then you can still grab that all the data to you without cost, and we do welcome you to speak with us. So we do. It's like we're charging for the support for that if you need to use us on the support. But if you are supporting it on yourself on your own platform, then we happy to collaborate as well to come to us. We have a lot of ISV partner. So and join our next webinar too. We're going to have another webinar on pricing structure. Okay. I
Thank, thank you, Melissa. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. And thank you everyone for attending the webinar today. I can see that most of the questions has already been answered. Any unanswered question will be answered via email, or feel free to drop us an email and we'll answer them there. And for those who are interested in receiving a copy of this recording, our team will share the webinar recording with you afterwards. Once again, thank you for joining the webinar, and we want to see you in the next webinar as well.